Racing Rant on a Monday. Not the preview shows, boys. The Rant, isn't it?
It's the Rant. And we were just about to create history there.
What were you doing?
Glenn got a phone call at the death. We were about to start early for the first ever time
ever. I had the best phone up and then the phone just held me up there for a minute. Bloody poker friends talking about stupid hands. Aces versus jacks. What was jack, ace, jack?
Wow.
Anyway, what's it all mean? Yeah, guys, look, a good set from the previous show. Mark, you put out a good set. Gord, you tipped leading winners. I let us down a bit with Manning Yard Mayo. My apologies, but I sort of been running pretty good, but Saturday was ordinary, I think.
Oh, it was sort of a fast track set. The other thing to mention is that Dicko down in Melbourne, 6 out of 9, so they had a cracking day as well.
Yeah, great work there, Dicko, because the people that do combo up with me, you saved my little half of the...
Well, you've been holding up the team for the last...
Yeah, but I still don't let the Sam Paula, because also when I Sam Paula, I do my absolute fucking balls, and I've done my absolute balls.
Okay, so what was the key to the day? Where were you? How were you out of sync with what happened on Saturday?
I don't know, Mark. I don't know.
There was a perception that it was an on-paces day, but I think, the run of Allura defies, it's straight away.
Well, the one horse I unloaded on all day is and I really, really needed to win, was Face Encore. And here comes little Kathy O'Hara just to really stick it straight in the ridden perfectly, pushed out well. Great ride there by Kathy.
Face Encore's got a bit of a chink, doesn't it?
Hey?
Got a bit of a chink.
Well, yeah, it was chinking.
It looked like it was going to win the race.
Chinking all the way down the straight, but it also looked like
it
was waiting for something else as well.
Yeah. Hetty Heights on the fence there, finishing 5th, so everything's sweet there. It'll never win another race. It went pretty well, Hetty Heights.
It didn't seem to punch through that gap like it has in previous preparation, so I reckon I'm leaning towards what you were saying.
Gone for good?
Well, at least until next prep.
Maybe first up.
Yeah.
That's a classic mares race. Look, I think the important thing from the Mounting Yard on Saturday was the fact that you poo-pooed a horse that you really liked on Friday, which was Slumber Party.
Yeah, he didn't parade as good as he can, and yeah, but that's not enough, Mark. You can't wrap that. A big deal. Okay.
No, but it's something to wrap. I'm not saying that. Not saying that retrieves you
going the
anyway.
wrong way all day.
So we saw 2 heavily backed favourites there spit the bit out on the turn. The first one was Vaucluse Bay, who had cardiac arrhythmia. I mean,
let's just quickly talk about cardiac arrhythmia, just quickly, guys. Someone said in the ring, I thought it was really pertinent, if that's the right word. Why do we never see 100 to 1 chances to get cardiac arrhythmia?
Because they don't even bother to test it. They don't even bother to have the vet run over them.
Yeah.
Oh, is that why? So we do get 50 to 1 chances getting cardiac arrhythmia, but we don't get the vet over. They just say, well, tail off, that's a 50 chance.
Yeah.
Is that the reason?
I'd say so.
Okay.
And people want explanations when
Favourites are smashed up.
favourites, yeah.
Yeah, but it's just not an explanation. It's a very unsatisfactory explanation.
Yeah, the horse just never went a yard, and the torment of Waller when he's got a few runners and the form being... It's just tormenting, isn't it? But I suppose we've got to get used to Chris. He'll be here for the next 20 years. I wish Hong Kong would pick him up.
Well, T. Berry's off after this week. I think it's his last week of riding.
Oh, thank God for that. I can't never win with T. Berry. I'm happy to see him go.
The first race, Glenn, Gord was very bullish about the...
He was too. It's a 2-year-old. It's fair dinkum this big. I mean, you can't tip it from Mounting Yard Mail. Never seen it run. It's obviously a bloody Saturday horse. And that were all the tips and the raps, and the fact that it was beating the Monstar in trials or track work or fucking whatever, all that, be on this was proven to be right. Mounting Yard Mail, you can't find it.
Yeah, well, and also the times that they ran, they just crawled in front and then sprinted down the straight. So the form is suspect as well.
I think the first 2 horses will be winning more races.
But only highways. They won't be winning anything else.
I don't know. I mean, it's another sin's first ever start.
First ever start on a highway.
Yeah.
It could be a maiden. It's it's a highway. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything being unraced in that
I think it's
race.
going to mean something. Winks won a maiden, or won its first race.
Winks, did you see Winks at Savage the Lion in her debut win?
But I'm just saying, they all win one race.
Right, this horse is PR'd. Like Dad said, it's just crawled along there, and Lifesaver, who is first up, I mean, I know another sin is having its first start, but there's, the weights people will say, well, there's a stone between them.
And what about Ty? I'm desperate for him on Lifesaver. I don't want him on King Viv. I'm desperate for him on Face Encore. I don't want him on Batterhov. Fair income, Ty. Ran him already well, but when you just don't go any good with anybody?
You reckon he watches the show, sees the ones he likes,
the show
and
all the time.
he just...
Right, big hello to the Frisbee player who will love the fact that you've basically got in there early with the mention of Ty.
I'm not talking about him as a jockey, not as a bloke. I know what he's like as a bloke. I know exactly what he's like as a bloke.
Anyway,
So,
I'm
jockey's a
potting,
great jockey.
I'm potting the highway, right? I'm saying that those two horses up front have been flattered and they've run no figures, so there's no platform there for them.
I'm not potting them. Like both first and second.
Race 2, there is nothing to say other than I did make mention on Friday that, and didn't fail to follow my own advice, the dangers to the favourite were not the horses that he beat by 10 lengths.
Zorcan and Magical Stance. They finished 4th, 7th. So it's left us with King Viv beating Not a Gypsy, who's second up, going up 5, and Multivasses. So the King Viv is obviously, I mean, I think I sent out second from any up. Well, I think I sent out Vaucluse bait from King Viv.
Yeah.
But
Well, okay, but there was an example of a favourite that had, rails handy midfield 2 starts back to beat Arbite Sam, and then box seated the other day, and all of a sudden he was like doing something different.
what was he doing different? Going up 6.5 kilos for starters, but going down in class. What was he doing different? Sitting second outside lead?
Yeah, he wasn't.
Snug as a bug in a rug on the fence sucking?
He wasn't sucking. That's what he wasn't doing.
Yeah, but how do you know that before they jumped?
Well, okay, but you don't there's no.
So that's really
there's no positive indication.
That's really just an in-play lay, the way you're talking.
I'm saying that we know what had happened to him the 2 starts before,
Yeah.
and what is the expectation here? Well, he hasn't drawn gate 1, so it's not obvious that he's going to be snug. There's a fair chance that he's not going to be snug.
Yeah. I think you're talking there a little bit after the race, Mark, because a lot of these stays, there's a couple of lengths, and when things are as well back to that, they do seem.
Okay,
let's talk.
Let's talk about these 2 favourites. Vaucluse Bay starts shorter than Arbitesam. Arbitesam.
Beats them.
Yeah, Arbitesam. Whatever. Which, looks wrong now, doesn't it? Looks horribly wrong. Because.
No, it had cardiac arrhythmia. Whatever that means, I don't know what it means, but
yeah, it's a
that
bullshit
is some
excuse.
sort of
It's
an
a
excuse.
freaking bullshit excuse.
4,000 punters had cardiac arrhythmia after this race.
The point is that when I actually got my head into the races at the track on Saturday, I went, Arbitesam's like a good thing, and Vaucluse Bay isn't.
Well done to you,
thought
because
they
on
were
the Friday you really felt Arbitesam was closer to a 5-2 chance.
I did. I actually sent it out 5-2. But
I
on
ended
Saturday,
up marking 5-2, and
on Saturday, I went, holy shit, what am I thinking? This has got all the aces.
Well, I still think Vaucluse Bay was a good thing. It just
had cardiac arrhythmia.
had cardiac arrhythmia.
Single $33 for that information. You could read in the stewards report, brought to you by the stewards of
Right.
Racing New Zealand.
Well,
I mean,
once
look,
again,
King Viv,
once
not
again,
a
we
GC,
disagree.
multifacets. Like, there's not much to beat there.
Yeah, and we're just getting hyped
I think
up.
I think we're talking too much about cardiac arrhythmia. Let's move on. We'll go fucking mental.
Right. Okay.
Or
So
more mental.
what's next for Arbitesam?
Oh, I don't know. What the
Back to 1200.
just go somewhere and get cardiac arrhythmia for me, please. Sick of even watching it go around.
But I mean, he's not disappointing anyone. Like, a second up, he failed, but other than that, he's given it all every time.
He has given it all. He's an on-pace type, typical gay. I suggest you get 2,000 metres, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I suppose he keeps winning races.
So what is he? Where's he going? He's going to the Wyong Cup?
I think that would be a good option for him.
Well, it'd be an interesting option because
2100 at
because by then we'll find some moisture, and it's also not flat Rose Hill.
Yeah, he does skate around Rose Hill, doesn't he, guys?
Well, we said that he skated. He handled Warwick Farm perfectly previously as well. So maybe it doesn't matter. Centre pivot finally did something.
Yeah, took off mid-street, wide. Shin got in. Horse had improved from the parade a touch. I thought it ran better than its price suggested.
There was also a suggestion from another guy that looks at them that he wasn't as showy as eye-catching in the parade this time.
Yes, that might be true. He certainly is.
Which I thought was interesting. I thought, well, that's probably important, possibly important.
Yeah, you want horses just get into there. He definitely walked better. He walked heaps better, and I haven't seen him walk like a real laconic straight line, shin on top. I think the horse is close to its top.
A horse that I was keen on Friday that you poo-pooed a bit, Loyalty Man, was solid in the betting, but
I don't think I poo-pooed it so much as a horse because I saw what you saw. Michael Moroney.
yeah, but that's important.
You can't back
That's
him.
important. Like, you know, every card you go
Michael
through, it's
Moroney-
all about connections. It's always about connections.
And you're not backing a Michael Moroney trained horse, you're backing some stable foreman's horse.
Yeah.
Michael Moroney lives in fucking Victoria, doesn't he? How's he training at Randwick?
Chris Waller trains at Flemington.
Well, he doesn't really, does he?
No.
It's just like that's what the name of the bottom of the butts of the checks when you used to write them. You would say CJ Waller. You bank in, you pay out, C Waller. But you're not paying for it. So
Right.
I'm not saying the bloke who
No,
does
but
Michael Moroney stuff's got no ability, but I'm saying I don't want to back him.
But there's every possibility in that situation. I know, Gord, you've spoken about the benefit of having the local run, but possibly in those situations where the principal trainer is in Melbourne, the horse coming from Melbourne has the polish from the principal trainer, and then...
Yes, I think that's a fair point. But we saw the run in Sydney, yeah, and then it stayed in Sydney.
Maybe you want to see some history because I'm sure there's some foreman that might be better than the primary trainer as well.
And that might be true too.
Yeah.
That might be true too.
So
but I haven't seen it in Michael Moroney's
Right, yeah.
New South Wales stable.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to back him.
Yeah, well, there was the other example of
Even
a
though-
horse that won at Hawkesbury, and then he went to Beaumont. Was it Beaumont or Newcastle? It was one of the two, and the betting just didn't want the horse. They just went all out for the blue colours.
He paraded really well, Lordy man, and I did my money, but
Is there anything else to take out of this race?
I have more clarity on the previous show than on the track.
Huh?
No, let's move
Classic
on.
Uniform and Sultan of Swing have gone okay.
Yeah, they're going to.
You know, they're going to be competitive in something at their next start.
Badajoz, how was the market so right here, guys? 650 into 370 on a Saturday. That's a big go. What was the story there?
And then, you know, the 420 for as much as you like Surplush at the death.
Yeah, the 420 surplus as much as you like. Timmy, I grabbed his phone. They're a bit unhappy with Timmy at the moment. A little bit of Timmy going on. I can't work out what to do with young Tim.
No.
But
I
there's a
can't,
situation that if anyone knows that Zestful's going to hold its alley, Surplush is 3 wide.
Yep, I think that's a fair comment.
So, look.
Why does stewards grab a jockey's phone? What's that all about? What do you look? What for?
They're looking for messages if you send a text message saying Surplus isn't going to win today or something like that.
Well, they'd have to be very stupid to do that.
It is Keystone Cop stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, well, J Mac
Isn't
wasn't
it like,
exactly the...
Why don't the stewards walk around with fucking a funny hat on, and a big magnifying glass like they're Sherlock Holmes? I mean, for fuck's sake. I mean, how ridiculous is that? Oh, give us your phone, okay. Well, here, I take that one. Oh, what about this one under here, or that one here?
Yeah, well, J Mac got done, didn't he?
Got a phone up my ass. Like, I just don't understand the whole steward thing with. I think jockeys should just have phones. We've all got phones. It's a bit archaic. You know, so when they look into the betting, like, what do they actually look for?
What I'm saying about
Oh,
the money for Badajoz is that they're going to be backing the blue colours in the near future. And I think they're
All
all
right, so
going
you're
to be
saying as
heavily
part
backed.
of the popularity of the new arrangement,
Yeah, I think so.
which is not a
I
bad...
marked a horse, just talking about Timmy. I marked a horse odds on and went to Newcastle, took $3, went, wow, $3. And then it was $6.80 on the fair late, and I backed it all the way through. And it came out and run 5th of 7th in a maiden. You watch the ride of Tim's, absolutely perfect. Like, fucking perfect. But how does Betfair know? That horse is the Portelli horse. What's it called? It's won 4 of its next 5 starts.
Oh, yeah, pure rebel.
Like, how did Tim get that horse beat? Did Tim get that horse beat? How did the fair know? Did he have a phone up his ass while he was riding it? Like, how does that horse go so bad
There's
on that
only
day?
one thing I can suggest.
What is it?
And that is that the horse had its previous start at Hawkesbury, and I reckon there would be
Yeah.
big players
Yep.
laying Hawkesbury form.
Okay, but then it's won 4 of its next 5 starts.
Yeah, but it's
How's
got
it
away
done
from
that?
Hawkesbury, and just, I don't know,
Found its gut way.
found its way. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
But how does the fair know so much?
well, how does the fair know about Surplush, getting caught deep here?
Yeah, I
Once
don't know.
again, it's a possibility. It's not a bad possibility, and if you
The fair
and-
gets it wrong as well.
yeah, of course it does. But look, what I'm saying
so
is,
just by law of averages, the fair is going to know something sometimes.
yes, that's right. And in this
So-
case, a big player has elected to take on Surplush, and they've got it right.
Well, that bloke who sent the email in, what? After
Yeah,
its first
he
up
sure
win.
did as well.
He's been-
You know, like, what
he's
great
been spot on.
information.
He's
I
been
know.
spot on it.
That's right. So
Anyway, but the stewards grabbed Timmy's phone, so we don't know what. And there was a small text there to John, Walter, which is obviously his racing manager or
yeah, your jockey manager.
jockey
yeah.
manager. How you going? Hi, going all right? What's
Yeah,
up, mate?
this is where I think I'll end up.
I thought when I read it,
So-
there was no mention of trying to go automatically back to the inside on Washington Heights.
See, I can't bag him on the Washington Heights right either, but
I
he just...
can. I thought it was terrible.
He was just unlucky, wasn't he?
But the
hang on,
horse won
Glenn.
by getting wide last start. Why wouldn't you just do the
He's
same
made
thing?
a conscious decision to hug the rails turning for home. I'm going, there's 3 horses in front of you on the rails, so you need 3 horses to shift off.
So are we going from good Glenn and bad Glenn to good Tim and bad Tim? Is he joined the good and bad
I
club?
just thought he made a really shit decision.
Yeah.
But that's all he did. He made a shit decision.
Oh, and Tim, when you're
Because-
watching, like, just so you don't need to have a quip at me over the fence about, oh, be careful what you say, like in a threatening way last time we had a little bit diggy. We're just punters trying to work out angles and help our punters. So just, stay cool, it's all right. It's Australia, you can say these things.
Oh, for me, they get it wrong sometimes. But you're going to make mistakes, aren't you? We make mistakes all the time.
Of course. I'm just getting over pure rebel and from years gone by the grey horse at Kembla. Fine miss, I'm getting over that. But I'll get over it, Tim. It's all right. Stay calm when you see me next
That's
time.
right.
Last time we mentioned something about it, he went, fucking be careful what you say on the show, Pollitt, and carried on like a fucking pork chop. Fucking go have a drink with Ty England, would you, for fuck's sake?
But back to the Badahov race, that's a mounting yard male race. How did these mares come back, Glenn? Zestful, Salida, Den Magic, and...
All right, from the top, which one? Zestful?
Den Purr.
Looked in great order with condition. It's a lovely horse. Who was the next one?
Den Magic, who was ridden positively on Saturday.
Really, really well. I think she might be a freshie. Might have missed a chance.
Den Purr, who didn't get much luck.
Yeah, and okay, well, they're lovely mares, these horses. They're lovely.
And Salida, who was ridden very positively by T. Berry.
I don't know what to make of Salida.
She won her 4 races consecutively. Can I just point that out?
But what does that mean? You can't win another race?
I've seen tons of mares that have got that their wins,
clump.
their wins. Their hot streak.
Oh, there's going to be a few winners out of that race.
Yeah.
So no doubt is the other resumer there of great interest.
Well, I said on the Friday show, the best horse in this race is No Doubt. Couldn't find it at all from Mounting Yard Mail. Well above itself, it's flashed home and runs 4th. I think my comment that it's the best horse in the race is close.
Gordo?
I'm going to back a lot of horses out of that race.
Really?
Yep.
And Surplus is not one of them.
Yeah, Surplus isn't one.
Well,
and neither's
first up
Petrosian.
next prep.
Petrosian's finished his time now.
Well, that's he's it's
Too
too hard for him.
Too good Rob Waterhouse. It opens up $12 Petrosian, and you're a bit icky about the $12, and then right at the death, you're like, he's $41 fucking dollars. Too good, Rob.
It did bite him on the bum with Allura, but anyway, that was that's an intriguing race, and then a bog standard. The Pharaoh just leads all the way. A good ride by Jay Ford, who actually went fast enough to make sure that one of his rivals was tested. So, whilst Peacock looked to be getting a suck there, it is not actually a suck when you're racing a bit fresh on the inside behind the leader.
Yeah.
And too good, Mark. I lost $2 billion in the race.
Just
And you know
like
the thing
that.
is,
Just like that.
Just so it's $2 billion. You know what the funny thing is? What about your bet? Oh, I like Peacock, but I just want to have a bet. So I'll have the Pharaoh. You want $1 billion off me?
I should have walled all Sunday. I must be rich again. Let's just quickly talk about why I'm famous, you guys. Opened up $6, $6.50 in the ring, $7 in the fair. The fair is they jumped $24. Runs last.
Yeah.
Questions are, the Sherlock Holmes group got together. They brought out their big magnifying. Mr. Snowden, that horse ran last. What do you say? He went, oh, well, when it's got a wide barrier, it doesn't usually go too good. Okay, that's good enough. Fucking Sherlock Holmes and crew. Give me a fucking
All right,
break.
look, bookies are just reaching for any horse that has most exalted next to its name.
But
We
yeah,
said that 2 weeks ago.
I know that, and I agree with that comment of ours, but
All
right,
you
here we
have
go.
not found
Here we go.
a punter.
Mounting my mail again on the Friday show. I said, well, fucking the fit, great fucking horse that goes really good, like Siege of Quebec, always gets beaten by the classy fresh horse. What do I do? What do I back? Siege of Quebec, tip it in front of Minari. Minari just cruises past it.
All right.
Up you go.
So it was a magnificent return by Minari. Well done, Gord. And it was a magnificent run by Siege of Quebec, I thought.
Quality animals, and I was surprised how short Parast traded in that race at 8:20 at one stage. Did you notice that, boys?
When you knew that Siege of Quebec would be ridden one way, so where is Parast at this stage? He's not crossing him, so he could be outside lead, or maybe he'd be 3 wide.
How's he 8:20? How's he that short?
Yeah.
He looks at dead set 25 to one chance to me. Anyway, he ran a pretty right. He's come back in good order.
Yeah.
Minari is top draw. We're just going to work out whether it's just fresh only though.
What do you say, Gord? You're the Minari man.
It's a serious horse.
He is a serious horse. I think that. Does he look like?
Looks like a bloody good horse.
Yeah, does he look like a future $30 million stallion?
He has a stink of that. Yeah, he does have a stink of that. Looking at him. Yep. He's scopy. No, he does have a smell of that. Maybe not a $30 million stallion, but certainly.
Okay, so
I mean, the reason these horses are $30 million stallions is because Racing New South Wales, who's got a lot of great things, great site, great this, do a lot of hard work. They give away 20,000 in prize money a day for a 3-horse race at Goulburn, which is just beyond
we're down to
belief.
3, are we?
Yeah, they're scratching. So the reason we have $30 million stands is because there's just this shitload of fucking money that is taxed off you, the punters, to feed these breeders and owners in our industry, which is just fucking wrong. Like how they give away $20,000 for a 3-horse race day where you would buy the competitors, the 3 of them, for less than $20,000 is outrageous, and that's what boosts these prices, these yearling prices up, because there's just so much to be chomped away in there.
Yeah, and so what happens there is, because there's so much prize money to be run for, then the trainers can charge high prices.
Yep.
Then the owners of the stables can charge the trainers high rents.
Everything just keeps going up.
Everyone
and they've
in
got
the
to
trough.
find that money from somewhere.
But it's all sucked out of the punters.
It's all sucked out of the
Right,
punters.
so if you actually deflated that whole thing, you would find that training fees would come down, rents would come down, farrier fees would come down, everything would have to come down. But it's all supported by this huge prize money.
$20,000 prize money day for a 3-horse race at Goulburn with 3 cockroaches going around, and there's no way, turnover-wise, anyway, they'll recoup anywhere close to $20,000 Racing New South Wales. So things need to be looked at a little bit at the bottom end too, as well as the top end.
Yep.
Okay, but back to the race, trekking, how did it parade?
Small, hasn't grown a lot, was in good order, was in really good order, close to top.
But
Its
also
physicality is going to stop it from... Minari's like, the big kid in year 2, and you got the little runty kid, but he's still a bit of a goer. But the big kid's still going to bash the shit out of the little kid.
There's nothing else to say there. I mean, it was a hot little race, and obviously
I thought Diamond Tagatha was particularly disappointing with the pace that was set, and it's run.
It couldn't
8th.
keep up. It
Yeah.
couldn't keep up.
But it was
Couldn't
pretty
keep up in the
disappointing.
betting. It was like 100 to 1.
Looked good. I don't know why it was 100 to 1. A lot of bad glins on it there in the past.
Well, it sort of actually has. It's got no dry track form. Isn't that a problem?
Possibly.
Then the
Kingsguard won the lottery.
Kingsguard was one of
God.
those lucky, like it was just everything went wrong for everything else. And there's Kingsguard. The only thing I could say is that Etymology did look to have him and didn't have him. Okay.
The other thing you can say is that when it was $8 in the ring, it's got a chance, it fits in there, and then bang, out to $17 at one stage on Betfair. $17 was easy to take that horse. Especially now. Especially
If I had to reprice the race, I'd have it longer than 17s.
So, all right, well, let's reprice the race.
So you
Paul.
reprice the race. What are you saying? 5 to 4 Washington Heights, 5 to 2 Tom Melbourne. 44, 72%.
Maybe shorter than 5 to 2 Tom Melbourne. But,
So 5 to 4, 7 to 4 is 80%.
I just can't see how one of those horses doesn't win the race.
If you run the race again?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, because they're just tragically unlucky.
So
you're probably right there. Maybe they're like evens and 6 to 4. It's 90%.
Yeah.
And then you find 10%. The rest makes Kingsguard 33.
Yeah.
You're a genius, Gord. Send Gord $33 for that, marking that 33 to 1, please.
I'll win.
Can we get
us a GoFundMe page for fucking sitting in this park?
I think Gord's $33 needs to come to us, Glenn, because we're already paying him.
Well, just fucking give me $11 for fuck's sake. 10
Jesus
cents.
Christ.
Some
I think the
fucker buy
33
me a
can come to
coffee,
me,
anything.
actually.
If one more person grabs me on the fucking race course and shakes my hand, and another but it's very nice to say hello to you, and says, gee, I love this show. Gee, we're all great. Oh, for fuck's sake.
All right, Tom Melbourne, you were impressed by him, Glenn?
He's a nice horse, guys. I podded him a bit on the why. I had one look at him, sent him straight out on top. Don't think I was that far wrong there. Didn't have much luck.
That's
Beautiful
one
horse.
that really
Beautiful
interests me
horse.
from a future perspective.
She's a nice horse, Tom Melbourne.
I love the fact that you found it so strongly.
But
it's
the other
got
thing,
But it got beat.
the other thing is, we talk about Peacock, we talk about trekking, we talk about Tom Melbourne. Those positions are no good. That third fence, we saw the inside draws kick through and lead. Another sin, and Arbites Kingsguard just got lucky, and King Viv did get a bit lucky for his rails midfield
King Viv did
position
get
as
a
well.
little bit lucky too.
Yeah,
But also,
I mean,
what do you mean you got a bit lucky? 60% of the race had cardiac arrhythmia. King Viv got really lucky.
What I'm saying is that the box seating from gate 1 is not.
It's treacherous.
Yeah, it's a tricky
it's-
play.
Well, you
It's-
dictate.
When it works, it looks great.
When I stay at home and bet in the run on everything everywhere, because I'm just sick, laying them to lose a monkey in the run, if they're on the fence, I lay those horses short all the time, and I do win a bit of money at it. It's a negative position to be in. Jockeys should jerry that too, because they like to curl. I mean, yeah, sure, the splits sometimes come, but I say you've got to be pretty daring to
For
take
me,
them
there's
spots.
two positions that are the best by a country mile, and that's either leading or 1 out, 1 back.
That's it.
They're the two.
Leading or 1 out, 1 back.
Send Gordon another $33.
Another 33 for Gord. Fuck, he's flying, Gord.
Washington Heights. What are we doing with him?
He's a freshie. I think that proved again thing. I think he's a really talented horse. I got a funny feeling he's going to be a little bit overexposed all the time at his price. He's always going to have that feel of $2.60.
Yeah.
So I think going forward, I'm probably always going to be laying him. I expect he'll win races. I'll be doing my money. But he just seems to, those unlucky big flashing
Yeah,
lights.
yeah,
They're tricky horses to back.
And what sort of type is he? Like, is he a 1,400 metre horse or a miler or a 1,200 metre horse? Or?
Definitely up to 1,400 mark. But I think the shorter, sharper goes. I think 1,200 is probably more his go. But
Saracen wasn't wanted at all. First run for Waller. What did you think of him?
I liked him as a type. Had him in my numbers about third or something. He's a good type, but I did notice he buzzed up behind the barriers. He was real shitty around behind the barriers.
Yeah, he didn't jump with them.
Yeah, but he was all right in the parade ring. It looks all right. You put your money in, you send him out in your numbers, blah, 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 and then you get around behind the barriers. It's like if they need to get shoeing. You can't predict all these things.
And the run was quite strange because obviously he had clear running down the outside, but he was like making a run, and then he was like, and then he became one-paced, which I suppose is what the sort of horse he is.
Great support there for Adam Hieronymus on the day. He got the one right on DIC, which was 460 to 1 on Betfair, and it ran 10th of 10th. But good to see you all supporting Adam out there, trainers and owners. You've got plenty of idea. No wonder we call you all. No, I won't even say it.
So, Glenn, that's a good idea. Put on a lot of condition on. Is that right?
He looked, yeah, he'd really. I think that's a good idea. Has found life, guys. What are you saying?
Well, it actually wasn't a bad run, but I mean, there's just nowhere for him to go.
There's nowhere for him to go.
Really, he should change.
Do we have to
states.
talk much about Kathy winning this frigging race, beating face?
Well, it's a disaster of a race.
Oh, let's talk about this. Let's talk about the caller calling Gretna Girl Sunday.
Sorry, he didn't. He actually called Slumber Party Girls.
I was
Girl
right the
Sunday.
first time.
You were right.
Yeah,
Because
he
I
called
went back
Slumber
and checked
Party Girl Sunday. So there's another beauty from us racing New South Wales. We've got a caller that calls horses not only the right name, but the horse isn't even entered on the day, and it's outside the leader Gretna. Really, this
Big
is good
load
enough?
of P-Payne who tweeted, where did Girl Sunday finish?
Like all of a sudden you go to watch the race and you're thinking, right, yeah, I thought Gretna would lead, and here's Girl Sunday. Where the fuck did Girl Sunday come from? And you're looking at your race book, straight away in your comment. Now I know for every 90% of people, the drunks and the yahoos and blah, blah, they don't even notice. But man, it's annoying.
So you did actually think that Gretna would lead?
I thought there was a chance from the inside draw at
Well,
Hunt,
I was
especially
saying-
when
I
I
was
saw
saying
him.
that
You
to
said that on the
Gord.
preview show.
I was saying that to Gord as well, but I was surprised that he was content just to sit there, B. Abdallah, on, I thought he would make more of an effort to try and get
Yeah, but
the
I
lead.
think I thought at the time Gretna, he'd stamped himself urgent. He said, look, I'm taking the running up, and I think if Abdallah pushes on, they don't like to push on and make it suicidal. Because next thing they're before the Sherlock Holmes with the big magnifying glass going, look how fast you went, and fucking now you get 3 months.
All right, so jockeys, have a look at the tape of Bishin on Gretna at the start. That's how you lead from an inside draw.
Yes.
Aggressive straight away.
And show intent.
Yeah.
And because then it puts everybody else...
It's a psychological thing, isn't
My
it?
word it is, yeah. And also, someone like Shin also... if it was Andrew Banks doing it, they'd probably stand over Andrew Banks. They don't stand over Shin.
Yeah. They've asserted themselves because they are, they're serious players. There is nothing to take out of this race.
No,
other than
Pradamis ran awesome, I thought. Highway Horse ran third. I thought it ran really well, guys.
So Allura is a what exactly? I mean, I know she ran third in the
Well, she's
Saturday
now a
race
mare
the
off
other
a
day.
win, carrying Kath. She's profiled to be back next start. Kath off, double bet. Well, then they let you go, mare off win, or Kathy Rowe.
So interestingly, Allura used to started her life at,
Here,
with
Robert
Gay.
and Lou Price. Kathy might be out. You might want to give the ride to Adam Hieronymus. So you go triple tick. You back it.
Indeed.
Well, I hope it is back because I'll be against it.
Another 33 for Gordon. Let's get to the last guy. Special Multi gun. He's back all of a sudden. There he was. That's the gun we know and love. There's 2 possible winning hopes.
It's just something to say, like horses that just look to the eye to just win so dynamically the previous start. They just win again, don't they? So that's Arbit Sam and Special Missile. And you should pretty much entertain backing them at any prices.
Well, they also own races, don't they? Like Gun owned that race.
Do you want to give the true definition of a bit gone? Like when you just can't get things going in life, and you have a $200 quaddie, like I did, and in the first league you go, I'll have Seizure Quebec and I'll have Minari, so you put 2. In the next race, prior to seeing Tom Melbourne, I didn't like Tom Melbourne, of course. I said, well, I'll bonk Washington Heights. No, I think Kingsguard can go race, so I'll put 2. Face Encore's my best bet of the day, so I'll go 1, and there's 2 opes in the last. So it was 2 by 2 by 1 by 2, 8 combinations. I'll bet 200. I got $25 on the quaddie with Face Encore. Anyone read? Now we understand why I got beat. Would have only paid it paid 4,700. It might have paid 600 or 700 that quaddie. It's only 15,000 back for 200. Like I fucking would not be here today for 15. I'd be still fucking partying, going you beauty. I really need a Face Encore for such a little outlay, especially like the Minari and Seizure Quebec. That was just a gimme. That was sweet. And then to get Kingsguard up in the lottery and to beat Tom Melbourne.
Yeah, that is a lottery.
Yeah, and the last.
But haven't you used up all your good fortune with Kingsguard? And now you're
so
about
what?
to get
Not. That's it. I'm not allowed to get Face Encore because I've used up my good fortune. Have I?
Well, because you actually need.
Well, what about filthy fucking Jolko and all their good fortune where they win 10 million a week and the next week it's 12 million?
But they don't.
Why can't I get 15,000?
They don't need the 15,000.
But they're allowed to have good fortune every week. Why can't I get some occasionally? Like it's not a bad ticket. 2 into 2 into 1 into 2.
It's a great ticket, and I think you've backed a winner there. You just didn't collect.
If you say that to me one more fucking time in my life, Mark, he says it all the time. Geez, you had a great blick, and yeah, ran second, Mark. I did my balls. Yeah, but you took $14. It started at $6.50. You'll win in the long run doing that. Yeah, I know, Mark, but it didn't win.
But you talk to your mates, your casual punters or whatever, and they go, oh, I tip this, I tip this, I tip this, and I'm like, so you had 4 from 7 winners, yeah? Oh, Jesus, how much you make? Oh no, I lost.
All right, let's quickly about the last race. Imanui paraded a little bit better, and it was just a pace tempo ticked gun there.
But what are we going to do with Imanui? It's like it's been doing this now for 2 preparations. Remember all those runs in last preparation where he resumed in the 14, unlucky. Well, it's another flashing light in the 14, another flashing light in the 16. Finally got back to a Wednesday race, and. Remember Mitchell Bell was riding it and he took off mid-race and Obsidian just went, Good Glen just went, no, can't have that. And so this preparation, flashing light first up at Warwick Farm, unsuited by slow tempo back in the field at Canterbury, unsuited by, rear half here.
Yeah.
He's just, he's waiting for everything to happen for him.
And he does profile with that cat's price, doesn't he? Like that, well found all the time.
So God, I think God.
You're not even new, man. Like I potted you first up, and like all you want to do is be on sense. It's been beaten and beaten, but run great races.
Yeah, I had a big go at Special Missile just because ridiculous price on Imanui with those contentions and that racing pattern. For me,
so
Imanui
finally Ron's done you a favour. You got so angry with him that he basically he sent you straight into
Ronnie,
the right horse.
$33.
Yeah. No, he actually did. I actually did.
Can we not talk
become
about
even more heavily about Special Missile because I was so bitter about bloody Ron Quinton.
Right.
But the thing is, it's simple with horses like that. With those kind of connections and that kind of racing pattern, you want a price. So you want Imanui in a higher standard race at long odds.
That's the end of part 1 here on the rant. I said the